Not too much. I know it's been a little minute. Hey friends, hey, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Naz. Over here we talk about all things lifestyle, beauty, and fashion. If you are not new here, girl, you know it's been a little minute. It's been a minute since I've done a designated sit down video, and I have missed y'all. I have missed y'all so much. Y'all have been getting the vlogs, but I'm like, no, I gotta get back into my bag. We're talking to my girls, talking about the things that we talk about, which is setting goals, talking about our achievements, and talking about how we can just better ourselves overall. Y'all know I like to get down, okay? Y'all know I like to jump into all of the things, and that's why I'm so excited to kick off 2025 with my first sit down video. And y'all know how we do. Every year I like to sit down and talk about the things that worked last year, the things that I accomplished last year, and the things that, you know, I had to work on last year. Some of the things that I overcame. Hopefully the lighting is not too wonky. I am sitting in front of my window, so it's going to be going in and out, in and out. We are shooting this smack dab in the middle of the day. Y'all know how daylight savings likes to play, okay? So let me stop yapping and hop right into this video. Hopefully the video isn't too long, but just in case it is, girl, we got our water and our Olipop. Let's get into it. Like I mentioned, the goal of this video is to just recap how 2024 was. Not too much, like we'll get into a few of the things, but overall I really want to talk about some of the aspirations and goals that I have set for myself in 2025, as well as sharing some tips on how you can make sure that 2025 is the best year yet for you. As always, I like to start with the recap of the previous year. 2024 was by far one of the most transformative years I have ever experienced. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm really trying to work with this light. Okay, back to the video. I was saying that I really feel like 2024 was such a transformative year for me because I was extremely intentional. And I know at the top of the year, you know, we have our little rebrand plans, we have our goals, our vision boards and all the things. But I took it a step further, and I mentioned this last year. This was the first time that I ever did a prayer journal instead of a vision board. I still created somewhat of a vision board, but I made that the cover of my prayer journal, and I'll share it here. I've shared it a few times, but I'm gonna share it here. And in this journal, I had it divided into, or I still have it divided into, it's so huge. It's such a big book. So I'm using it again this year as well. But within the book, there are different sections as far as, you know, different categories as far as what I wanted to cater to specifically into 2024, like family, career. A lot of that for us is family, it's career, it's our friendships, it's our, finances, it's our hobbies, all of those different things. And I combine them, all those different things. And inside of the prayer journal, I also have these envelopes where I know you've seen it before. People are making like prayer boards. But I took that concept and I placed it inside of the prayer journal. That way I can actually pray over the things or look back at the things that God had blessed me with. And having something like that, like a journal, something that I know that I'm going to intentionally dive into every single day, or, you know, sometimes we don't get to it every single day, but for the most part, we're reaching for this thing. We are journaling. If you are an active journaler, or if it's something that you're trying to pick up, you're going to make it a habit. So instead of, you know, having a picture that I would look at on my wall, it just made more sense to have something that I would actually pick up right in, because I also used it for prayers. I used it for devotionals. I used it to talk about my dreams. I used it to talk about my confessions, everything, literally everything. And within that, I was able to look back and see the things that I prayed for. I was almost able to hold myself accountable outside of just looking at a picture on a vision board. You know what I mean? That was one part of it. Another part of it was my community, and not just you guys, but the community that I've created and fostered and nurtured as far as the other creator friends that I was able to connect with. Having those type of people around you to, one, hold you accountable, but also talk about the things that you're going through that they also might be going through. Just not being in a space of feeling alone for, I want to say once in my life when it comes to my career. I mean, I've been an entrepreneur for over 10 years. And I will say in a lot of those different jobs, a lot of those different things that I was doing, and within all those different careers that I was doing, I didn't really have a community. I didn't really have a community when I was doing my website business. Like I had a few people that I would talk to, but it wasn't really a good grounded community. Whereas with my creator community that I have now, it is, we pray for each other. We talk about our problems. I'm able to vent. And I'm not used to venting at all. And we're going to talk about that later. But I think just having a reliable community that I could lean on to hold me accountable, to tell me to dream bigger, to tell me to get out of my head, to tell me to show up when I'm usually that person for so many other people, definitely helped. Another thing that definitely helped was my incredible husband. He has been such a huge supporter from the very beginning. No matter what business I've had, that man has always stood by my side. So having him there and really telling me like, no, you're not going back to this thing that you said you didn't want to do anymore. No, you are going to go to this thing that you said you wanted to do, definitely lit fire up under me. So it was almost like I didn't have a choice but to win, because I had all these incredible people around me rooting for me to win, not just myself. And that, I don't think it's talked about enough. And then just me wanting to win, between God lighting that fire inside of me, my community letting me know that they're not gonna let me lose, and myself knowing the desires that I placed on myself, the things and the goals that I want for myself, it truly lit something inside of me, y'all. And I showed up like I never had showed up before within any of my other business endeavors that I've had before. So yeah, let's get into it, girl. I want to keep the recap of 2024 pretty brief. I don't want to dive into all the things. If you follow me on Instagram, then you know what your girl has been up to. You know all the things that I tapped into. But I want to be able to look back at this video and look at overall like, oh, 2024, you did that type of vibe. So I do want to recap some of the wins that I had in 2024. We'll start there. Kicking it off strong, girl, we landed another year-long partnership with Ulta Beauty Collective. And not only did I get back into the good graces of Ulta Beauty, but I also became a mentor this year. So that in itself blew my mind. I think we found out in, it was pretty like, I think it might have been second quarter when we found out. I think it was second quarter. But the official program didn't start until June. So it was completely different from the previous year. So it took a little time. So girl, y'all know what I did for the first year. The first year I was in Ulta Beauty Collective, I fasted, I prayed, I dove all in when it came to my content, locked in completely when it came to my content. And I did the same thing again. I fasted, I prayed, and I really showed up as that creator that I knew that they were looking for. When they said that they were allowing creators to come back, I said, oh, all bets are off, okay? I'm showing up, okay? I'm pulling up and I'm showing up and I'm doing the work. And we did just that. And yeah, I can't even explain that feeling of finding out that I got in again. It was just like mind blowing. I just will forever be appreciative to Ulta Beauty and the entire team. Like shortly before I got the news that I got into Ulta Beauty Collective, I decided that I was no longer going to take any clients. So I believe the last client I took was in March. And it was like right at the beginning of March. I said, in quarter two, y'all, I announced it to my audience. I said, hey, I am not taking any more clients. I am going to pour my all into content creation. So last year was the first time I really went full on content creator, not taking any side gigs, no side jobs, no photography clients. Like, I think I might bring photography back because that is something that I truly enjoy. But as far as like my full service clients, where I was doing websites and brand strategies and photography, videography, doing that entire thing for their brands, I stopped that completely, y'all. And when I tell y'all I was scared, y'all know I was scared. I talked about it, but I really felt, I know that God was telling me, you cannot show up here and get the things that you want here if you continue to show up in this space. And I was only showing up in that space, if I'm being honest, because of the money. The passion was gone. Yes, I loved helping people, but I wanted to do it at a different magnitude. I wanted to do it on a different scale. It was no longer serving me the way that I was showing up for other people, because it wasn't allowing me to show up for myself. So I knew that I had to let it go. But I was scared, girl. I was so scared. But as soon as I did it, when I tell y'all, things started shifting, things started moving. Not only around that time did I leave, not literally, as soon as I announced that I was no longer taking clients, I got dropped from my agency that I was with at the time. So I was petrified. I was like, God, surely you are kidding. Like, no, this is fake. I was like, surely God, you are kidding. You are not going to tell me to stop the main source of income that I'm making right now. You're not going to tell me to stop doing this and then take away what I thought at the time was the only means of, me securing partnerships. At that time, I'm just being honest with y'all, because y'all have to understand, I was still kind of new to this thing, a year and a half in for content creation, and this being the only agency that I knew. I'm thinking my source of accomplishment, my source of, the things that are coming to me, the opportunities are through them. But baby, when I tell you, God is my manager, God is the manager, okay, at this point, okay? Because the moment that all happened and then I stopped taking clients, he just started opening my eyes. He just started opening my eyes and opening these doors and these opportunities that I know for sure would not have been open if I would have stayed, one, with that agency, but two, if I would have stayed and continued to serve a career, a job that I no longer was in love with. And yeah, he said, these people can't go where you're going, and you cannot have this where you're trying to go either, because that's going to hold you back from the things that I'm trying to put in front of you. Okay? Can I get an amen? I also landed 3 brand trips, 2 of them being with Ulta. When you are part of the Ulta Beauty Collective, you do get 2 brand trips, or you get to be a part of 2 brand trips. But I also got one outside of that. Now, it was here, but not too much, okay? A brand trip is a brand trip is a brand trip. I don't care where it is. And yeah, so it was in Minnesota, but I stayed at the Four Seasons for the first time. I never stayed at the Four Seasons. I've been there for massages. I've been there for the spa, but I had never been there to like sleep, okay? Because honestly, we speaking, I'm like, girl, this little hotel up the street it's real cute too, and it's a lot cheaper. But baby, when I tell you, that trip was so much fun. We went to the Sabrina Carpenter concert. It was with the Cora brand, so a feminine hygiene brand. They have tampons and pads and, just feminine stuff. But it was amazing. I had so much fun, and it really opened my eyes to the fact that, Nas, you can be here in Minnesota, because if y'all watch my vlogs, y'all know I talk a lot about, like, I don't know if this is where I'm going to be, especially given what it is that I do for, my career, because there's not a lot of opportunities. And I feel like in that moment, God was like, shut up. You don't know anything. The opportunities will find you. It doesn't matter where you go. And I calmed down. I calmed down on the moving thing. I calmed down on, feeling like I need to be here, there, and everywhere, because yes, those opportunities will not miss you, okay? The fact that they were here in Minnesota, everybody else flew in but me. I had a ball, y'all. So yeah, we went on 3 brand trips last year. We went to New York Fashion Week, both of them. In 2024, we went to the February one as well as the September one. February was cute. I got my feet wet. Low key, if I'm being honest, I kind of was forced there by my previous agency. I did not go to anything but one show. And yeah, so I kind of felt like if I'm being honest, like I kind of just wasted my money. It is not cheap. It is very expensive. And I think they were just unprepared as far as like having their people there. I think they just really wanted us there for the optics. But last year was my year of being outside. I always said, from the beginning of 2024, I said it was my visibility year. I wanted to go to the things that I wanted to go to. I wanted to pop out and, oh, nigga. But no, seriously, I wanted to pop out. I wanted to do things. So even though when I got there, I was like, what is this? I still had so much fun and made the most of it. And I think it truly prepared me for the September one, which was incredible. Like that one, oh, I worked that one. An incredible opportunity came out of it, which you guys will know about very, very soon. And yeah, it really allowed me to get out of my comfort zone. It allowed me to connect with my mutuals and build really deep connections with people that I now call friends. So yeah, outside of meeting the brands and shaking the hands and going to the events and getting uncomfortable, like overall just being in that, it's nothing like being in the space where you are appreciated and celebrated. It's nothing like it. So if you can, make those things happen, no matter what category you're in, whatever your niche is, whether it's cooking, mom life, whatever it is. If there are conventions, if there are workshops, if there are, events, go to those things, because when I tell you, it will fuel you and refuel you. The people that are there, it's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. That's why these spaces are created. Yes, sometimes, you got to use your discernment. You don't need to be at everything. But for the most part, definitely make sure that you are getting outside, because especially if you're feeling like overwhelmed or feeling discouraged, get in those spaces because it will light a fire up under you. And that's exactly what New York Fashion Week in September did for me. I also hit my YouTube goal. My YouTube goal was 10K. My YouTube goal to hit was 10K subscribers, and we exceeded that. We are sitting cute at 16K right now. So I am so grateful for all of you guys that are here, who found my channel, whether you're just tapping in or you've been here since the beginning. Girl, I love you down. We also went to our first YouTube event. What? And guess where it was? In Minnesota. I also interviewed Paris Hilton. Like, wait, yes, we interviewed Paris Hilton in LA. That was at the top of the year. That was amazing. That was such a fun opportunity. I experienced the US Open for the first time, not just by myself, but with Serena Williams. I created content with Serena Williams. Girl, what? Shout out to Win Beauty. I worked with so many of my dream brands that I had on my list. And I literally, with each brand that came, I ended up working with about, I think it was 21 brands to be exact. But y'all, with each brand that I had on my list at the top of the year, as I'm checking it off throughout the year, I'm like, nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible when you say it, when you put it out there in the atmosphere, when you declare it, when you ask for it, when you pray for it. Nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. And I just was like, how did y'all find me? How did y'all find me? Because quiet as it's kept, I wasn't even making content for y'all. I just put y'all on the list. I wasn't even being intentional about making content for y'all. Some of the brands. And now I have long-standing relationships with these brands. Like, blows my mind. 2024, you showed out. And speaking of working with 21 brands, girl, not only did I surpass my goal, my little bitty goal of 100K in brand partnerships, securing 100K in brand partnerships, I surpassed that goal. I surpassed that goal with flying colors, okay? But then the miraculous happened. In quarter 4, I secured 6 figures. I'm gonna say 6 figures because I was $3,000 away from having 100K quarter. And I'm saying the number, I'm only saying that number because I need y'all to know how big my God is. He said, oh, you playing with you. He said, you playing with you. You playing with yourself. What's crazy is my friends have been telling me that I'm playing with myself. My goals are too small. Normally, I'm the one saying that to my friends. But they were like, why are you playing? Why are you? And it was because I was protecting myself. It was because I was trying to protect myself. In case I don't make it, let me just say, let me ask for this. Let me just do this. God said, you're going to quit playing with yourself. I'm going to show you what's possible. And then I need you to continue to show up as that because this is what you're deserving of. And baby, girl. Overall, I expanded my reach in ways that I didn't even think was possible. So I'm extremely grateful for the community that I built, the relationships that I made, not just with, my peers, but with the brands as well. Overall, there were like a handful of other things that happened. I just wanted to pretty much sum up that 2024 was great for me, and I don't want to downplay that for anyone. And I don't want to downplay it for myself because it was amazing. It was such a beautiful year. But of course, with the highs, there are some lows. So I do want to dive into more personal things. So I want to talk about a few personal wins and some of the things that I overcame. So outside of the accomplishments that I just listed off, I definitely will say that I am so proud of my resilience and perseverance that I just demonstrated throughout 2024. Like I mentioned, I ended up getting dropped from my agency, and overall I went through a total of 3 different management teams in 2024. And I'm just very proud of myself. I'm so proud of myself because there's a part of you as a creator. Now, I'm not going to speak for everybody, but a lot of people, most creators do want to be managed by someone to take that load off of, pitching and reaching out and responding to emails and negotiating, all those different things. And more than anything, resources. A lot of agencies and talent managers have these resources that we are just not privy to. So yes, I deeply wanted to be with someone, but as each agency came across, each one that I encountered, I just realized that there were some things that I really, really wanted that I wasn't getting from like the previous one, or that I just wanted for myself going forward in general. Overall, I'm very proud that I did not allow myself to settle. I'm so proud that I was obedient to what I felt like God was telling me to do and what I knew that I was looking for within a team. I've always had an okay relationship, I'd say, with God. I was never like, reading my Bible or anything like that. I just had faith. I had faith and I knew who he was. He knew who I was, type of thing. But I feel like with all of last year, one, I got extremely grounded. I told you about my prayer journal, but I also made sure that I was doing my devotionals and made sure that I was going to him first before anything. Typically, I would go to my friends, or I would go to, my husband, or, someone else to seek an answer that I feel like only he could truly give me, he as in God. So I feel like that that's a win in itself. Just being closer to God, strengthening that relationship overall definitely helped me show up better for myself in 2024. All right, now let's talk about some of the challenges, because y'all know it was not all smooth sailing, okay? One of the toughest things that I had to deal with and had to learn last year was to truly let go of the goals that I had and the plans that I had, and truly give them over to God. Truly meeting him halfway. Y'all know faith without work is dead. And I've always lived by that. But I think last year I really leaned into that. Showing up in ways that I was uncomfortable, showing up in ways that I hadn't before to yield different results. So not even just letting go with, the personal things that I had going on, but also letting go of people. This was the first time I had really let go of people, and I'm still trying to deal with the ashes of that. I would say the remnants of letting go. There are days when I'm emotional. There are days when I am, questioning God. But overall, I trust him. I know that this was needed. So learning, that was a huge challenge for me last year. Because you have those questions. Why do I need to let this go? Why God? This been working out for me. Like, what's going on? But he sees things that we can't. And when you are asking for those things, those very specific prayers, you have to pay attention to those things. And yeah, people were one of those. Friendships. I am 34 years old. I haven't dealt with friendship breakups ever. So this was the first time I've ever dealt with something like this. So it was hard. It was so hard because I'm accomplishing all these things. Life is good over here. Career is doing good. Money's coming in. I'm hitting milestones that I had only dreamed about. And on the other side of this, I'm dealing with what I was dealing with. And it was I didn't know to be happy. I didn't know to celebrate. I didn't know how to celebrate because I'm so used to being with these people. It was hard. So that led to another challenge, which was a season of isolation. And that was so unexpected. I'm thinking in the moment when God is removing these things from me, removing these people from my circle, I'm thinking that surely everything's going to be great now. Like, sunny days are near. They were near, but baby, it wasn't overnight. It was not overnight. That being said, really acknowledging that I was placing myself into a season of isolation, not on purpose, but noticing and being self-aware that things are weird. I'm feeling these feelings that I'm not used to feeling, and I'm not liking this, and I'm saying no to this, and I'm distancing myself from these people that did nothing to me. It really woke me up. It definitely woke me up. And I think that was needed. I think that season of isolation was needed, but I also think that me having that self-aware was also needed. That lonely feeling helped me understand, one, Nas, why are you lonely? You are the reason that you were lonely, because I felt because I lost these people that I had nobody, but that wasn't the case. I feel like I had to go through that lonely season so God could open and reveal who exactly was in front of me, because I couldn't see it, because this is all that I knew. So that was a challenge for me, being vulnerable and open with people that have been in my life for some years, but I didn't consider them my core people because I wasn't as close with them as I was with these people over here. You know what I mean? So God peeled back the layers. He said, girl, you gotta stop. You gotta stop putting yourself in the season of isolation. You have to stop saying that you're lonely, because you're not. Use these people that I've placed in your life. And I dealt with, I kind of doubted myself as far as why am I here in these people's lives? Am I their friend, or do they look at me as something else? Am I as close with them as I think I am? Instead, I was questioning everything. I was questioning everything, and I had no reason to, because these people were there for me. They are there for me. And I think it was just me. I was placing that stuff on myself. So I dealt with a lot of internal battling stuff when it came to my relationships and where I stood with people, which I think needed to happen, because I don't think I never would have dug into what those feelings were or made the initiative to build deeper bonds and relationships with the people that were already placed in my life from God. Ooh, child. I was going through it, but I feel like I truly needed to go through it so I could be exactly where I'm at right now. I'm just looking back at where I was. I have so much appreciation for that period. And even though it was crappy season of my life in 2024, I am so appreciative for it, because I am now more vulnerable with my friends. I'm more vulnerable with the people that are in my life. It got so bad that I didn't even want to talk to my husband about what it was that I was going through. So yeah, I definitely put myself into that little season of isolation. It wasn't for any other reason. No one put me there, made me feel like I wasn't welcomed, if that makes sense. It was just myself. And I think that happens to a lot of us when we get in our heads. We place these things on ourselves, these limited beliefs that stop us from building closer relationships, or stop us from achieving our goals and doing the things that we truly want to do. There goes the light again. Grr. Anyways, outside of being burnt out here and there randomly throughout the year, 2024 for the most part was a beautiful year for me learning a lot about myself, but also knowing what exactly I can do, what I'm capable of, and knowing that I can do hard things. I can reach those goals that I feel like are scary as hell, and that people care about me and having a relationship with me. And with that being said, just to sprinkle a little gratitude in there. One, obviously, I'm thankful for God for everything that He allowed me to touch, it allowed me to see throughout 2024. I truly know that it was His hands all up in 2024, okay? And that is why I seen so much of what I seen, so much of what I experienced was because of His grace. So thankful for my community. I have an incredible community. If you're not following my broadcast channel, what are you doing? But I have an incredible community within my Instagram, but also, I don't know, by the time this video is out, TikTok is probably gone, girl. But my community that I built on TikTok, the community that I built over here, girl, we've been kicking it all 2024, okay? I showed up like I have never showed up on YouTube before. And that in itself was a huge win. So I'm so grateful for my incredible community, extremely grateful for my health, and every single opportunity that came my way in 2024. I'm so incredibly grateful for the discipline that I demonstrated in 2024, not just with showing up as a content creator, but just discipline to doing the work on myself, doing the work on my relationship with God, doing the work on my health, doing the work. All areas I made sure that I watered. I was very intentional about my conversations. I was very intentional about speaking my mind. Ooh, that was something that was new. I have always been someone that has spoke their mind for the most part, but a lot of the times when it came to uncomfortable conversations, I would just be like, you know what? I know how this is going to end because Virgos think they know everything. I know how this is going to end. Let's go ahead and just set it right here. I'm gonna tell you what you want to hear. Almost people pleasing. Dare I say people pleasing? Child, I was out here pleasing people, and I didn't do that in 2024. I didn't do that. I ain't do none of that. I ain't do none of that. So I'm grateful for it all. All right, now let's talk about some of the goals and aspirations that I have for myself in 2025. I won't share everything, but I will share a few. I'll highlight a few little goals. As far as personal goals go, my health and wellness, that's always at the top, okay? I'm very proud that I showed up the way that I showed up in the gym. I worked my butt off dang near every week. Every single week, okay? I worked my butt off when it came to just being active and being in the gym on days that I didn't want to be there, getting up early, days that I was sore, days that I had long nights working. Like, I got my butt in the gym, okay? I did so many different, like, I won't say fasting, but there were many times where I was like, nope, I'm not drinking this month, or I'm not drinking this week, or I'm not drinking this week also. Like, I was very disciplined more than I was in the previous years. So I'm very happy with how I showed up for myself when it came to my health. So this year I want to lock in even more, and that means getting a little bit more uncomfortable when it comes to my eating habits. And I truly do think, as much as I say, like, I don't want to do no diet, I want to be able to eat what I want to eat. I want something sustainable. I think for me to reach the goals that I want to reach, I really have to be realistic with myself, and I either need an aid like a GLP-1 or something like that, or I need to really get boring when it comes to my eating and the things that I'm consuming, and just really lock in on a lazy bland diet, okay? And I don't know which one it's gonna be, but I'll keep y'all posted. My relationships is another goal that I want to focus on this year, and not just with my friends, but with my family as well. One thing I learned about myself last year is that I am so used to being the easygoing friend, the low maintenance friend, and I learned, gosh, I learned so much about myself, y'all. I learned that I was okay with being the low maintenance friend and the easygoing friend, which I'm very, like, that's just part of like my personality, who I am. But I realized I didn't necessarily like the feeling that I would get by being that friend. Let me elaborate. I noticed that that wasn't something that I necessarily wanted. That was something that was placed on me because, like, that was a title. Like, I was told that, oh, you're so easy going, oh, you're so low maintenance. Like that was placed on me. So I felt like I needed to uphold that title. Like, don't be questioning why y'all ain't talk so long. Don't question, how this made you feel. Don't ask this question. Like, one, that's not a friendship, if you ask me. Like, you are constantly questioning, like, how you should act and what you should say, and all those different things. I just learned so much about myself. Like, 34 years old, like, girl, I feel like I'm just now living. But so this year, that's a goal for myself, is really leaning into, what does Nas want? How does Nas feel? What does Nas think about this? Like, at the core of it, not what does this person want to hear? As far as my career goals, there's not, like, outside of like metrics and stuff like that, like revenue goals and stuff like that, I'm not changing my content. My content is very much going to be the same, okay? I have no goals or intentions on changing. Maybe I might change the way that I show up, as far as like how I deliver content to you guys, but I don't plan on changing nothing around these parts, okay? I want to stick with the styling, meaning I want to do fashion, but maybe I'll do more styling videos. I do want to make beauty videos, but y'all won't be watching them. But I do think that I am going to continue to do beauty videos. If you guys are interested in that, please let me know in the comments, because, like, y'all be saying y'all here for them, but when the videos go up, y'all are nowhere to be found. So let me know. But I do overall, I'm a beauty girl at heart. So whether that is long form or short form, the beauty videos will still be there, as well as doing more lifestyle content as well. As far as like any new ventures, I am exploring more opportunities for the studio. I want to have a social club. I've mentioned this in my vlogs. I want to have some type of social club where I can bring other like-minded creators together to host, to have events, events and just do more things together. I feel like I did so much traveling and doing stuff and going to different places out of the state last year. I want to bring some of those opportunities here and just be that person for Minnesota. I know I'll be complaining about it, but like, why not be the person that brings the other creators together? I want to create some magic here. That is definitely some things that are in the works. But yeah, speaking of the studio, me wanting to host and do more things there, I plan on making some changes in the studio very, very soon, which I'm very excited about. And then overall, I just want to make sure that I'm booking that thing up, okay? Every single month. That is something that I did not pay too much attention to last year, and this is the year me and my husband are going to decide whether we're going to keep the studio. It's year 5. We're deciding if we're going to keep it, because right now it's just becoming an expense, or if we're just going to market the heck out of this thing and really, you know, show up for the studio like I show up in other areas of my career. And I really don't want to give up on it. I don't want to give up on it just yet, okay? So definitely look forward to updating you guys and taking you along that journey. If you guys are interested in that type of content, let me know below if you are interested in like me being at the studio, or, you know, having events there, or, you know, talking about the studio more, sharing it, tours, all that stuff. Let me know and I'll hook y'all up. Another goal that I'm focusing on in 2025 is being more mindful and aware of the things that I'm accomplishing. Yes, I keep track of them in milestones with my vlogs and my videos and journaling, but I actually want to celebrate myself. And this is something that I also learned about myself, y'all. I learned last year that I don't celebrate myself because a lot of that stood in me not knowing truly where I stood with people. And it wasn't because, you know, for any other reason, like no shadiness or anything like that. I think it was just truly not really knowing. I mean, I felt like I knew where I stood in a lot of people's lives. I feel like I knew where a lot of people stood in my life, but I didn't know where I stood in their lives. So when you think about celebrating yourself, yes, you can celebrate with your family and stuff, but a lot of the times you also want to invite your friends and stuff. So I would get paralyzed at the thought of, who do I invite? How do I make a guest list? And all these people are looking at me like, Nas, what are you talking about? I'm going to be there. I will come. And I'm like, you would? You would want to come? You would want to do this? And I think part of it also is like not fully being used to me being an influencer or a content creator and being celebrated for those accomplishments that I achieve within that field. I am very used to going to like our, you know, whether it be friends or family, if they get a promotion or if they get, I mean, I guess it is the same thing, but I'm so used to things like just celebrating people in a different way. And I don't know. I really don't know, y'all. I really don't know. I can't even find the words, but I know that it makes me a little like uncomfortable at the thought of, one, making a guest list, 2, you know, like, why is she celebrating this milestone? I be in my head. But this year, I don't want to be in my head. So I do want to make sure that I am taking time, whether it be just me and my husband, me and a few friends, me and my family members, like whatever it is, I want to be vocal about this. I'm proud of this and I want to celebrate it. I'm typically celebrating with like a new camera or, you know, something material, but I want to actually, you know, have fellowship and come together and gather and just celebrate. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I don't like the idea of planning stuff. I don't like the idea of like managing stuff and like, I don't know. It spooks me. Like, I don't know, y'all. I be in my head, but I have so many people around me that are like, Nas, why are you not celebrating this? Or why are you not doing something for this opportunity that you just, you know, accomplished? Like, girl. And I'm like, it's okay. I'm gonna get a camera. We're not doing that this year. We're gonna get a camera and we're gonna celebrate. But yes, I just wanna practice more mindfulness and finding balance within this chaotic career that I have, as well as managing my relationships and my friendships and my family. Because I was a few thousand short of my 6-figure quarter, I want a 6-figure quarter. I'm claiming that right now. That's gonna happen for me, okay? That's gonna happen for me. And it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna happen. It's going to happen, okay? I would love to go on 4 brand trips this year. That would be amazing for me. Like, I just want that. I want that for me. I want to be outside with the girls. I want to be tripping with Tart. I want to be on brand trips, okay? I want to be outside, and I'm saying 4 because I said 1 per quarter. I want to be completely debt-free this year. That is a goal that I have, and we're actually pretty close to that, so I know that's gonna happen for sure. I wanna host more things outside of just like stuff for creators. I wanna host more, whether it be gathering with my family or my friends. I talk about this all the time with Vino. I'm like, I love our home. I love my home, but we don't do anything here. And I'm just like, yes, I love my home for me, but like, why can't nobody come over? Like, I don't be inviting them. I want to host more, whether it be here or at the studio. I just want to just gather. I don't know. I just feel like because of what I went through last year, I just want to appreciate and love on the people that love on me. I want to hit 200K on Instagram. I have been stuck at 131 it's teetered between 132 and 131 for months. I don't know what's happening, but it's okay. We're gonna get it together, okay? I want to hit 200K on Instagram. I want to hit 50K on YouTube. Listen, I feel like it's possible. Okay? We hit 10K last year. I think we can do 50, okay? If I keep up with the momentum and the videos, keep them pumping out, I think we can get there. I also want to do more outings with our family, like the people that live in this home. The kids are getting older. Pretty soon they're gonna be out the house, y'all. So I just want to make sure that we're spending more and more time with them, whether it is just going up the street somewhere, but also like going out of town with them more as well, whether they want to or not, because they're at this age where they're like, do we have to go out of town? Do we have to go with y'all? Yes, you do. Period. You still a child. No, but seriously, I just want to spend more moments with them and make sure that, we soak up everything before they're gone. We only have a few more years. So I definitely want to make sure that we are spending as much time with them as possible. And there are a slew of other goals that I have, but I'm going to keep them tucked away. I'll share them with y'all at the end of the year. But yeah, I don't want to, give too much away, but I did want to share some of the goals that I have for 2025. Okay, are y'all still with me? Now we're about to jump into the tips, okay, on how you can make sure that you are hitting your goals for an effective year. I feel like year after year, I'm hitting my goals. So y'all know I got to share some of the tips that work for me. Your goals, you can start these whenever, okay? You create your own timeline. You don't have to start January 1st. You ain't got to start February 1st. You ain't even got to start in the first quarter. I will say for me, I am taking the first quarter to get my affairs together for the rest of the year. I'm not taking a week in January or all of January. No, I need a whole quarter to get myself together, okay? You don't let nobody rush you. You are in control of your timeline. You are in control of what you can and cannot do. So don't let anybody make you feel bad because you didn't start January 1st or you're not, keeping up with the things that you said you was going to do. You can start over as many times as you need to. Just make sure that you start. Make sure that you start. Don't start and then stop and then don't start again. Stuff up and dust off, okay? That's all you got to do. Get back to it. It's okay. I just wanted to start there, okay? I'm sharing these tips for the people that are ready to effectively make changes to accomplish those goals, to get out of that season of, being paralyzed at the thought of creating or being paralyzed at the thought of showing up for themselves. This is for y'all. The first thing you're going to do, girl, is reflect, and then you're going to plan. You cannot move forward if you do not know what worked and what did not work. So reflecting every single time, if you watch my videos from the past, I always start with reflection. And that's why I started this video reflecting on how 2024 was. I can't say that, I want this to happen when I know last year I wasn't really doing the best with making those things happen. Y'all gonna hate me because of all these light changes, but stick with me. All I was saying is make sure that you reflect on what previously worked and what didn't work. That way you know how to show up going forward. And also I like reflecting because it allows you to revisit the goals that you set for yourself. You may not want the same things that you wanted for yourself in December or January or whenever the case may be. Like those goals may have been for a specific season or a specific time. They may shift, and that is okay too. You can change your goals. So I think that's why it's really important to reflect first and then plan, so then you can move ahead accordingly. Another thing is setting goals that align with where you are currently, as far as like your passions and your value, what currently matters to you right now. I don't think that's talked about enough. I think it's so easy for us to make those big goals, as when it comes to revenue, when it comes to financial things, but the small little details that are going to be engraved in like your core values, those are also very important. Creating intentional routines. Creating intentional routines will help you lean into the habits that ultimately will help you make or achieve the goals that you are trying to reach. Because those small, consistent habits lead to those big changes that ultimately help you reach those goals. For example, like me, we ain't gonna talk about right now, but all through 2024, in order for me to show up effectively online, I made sure that I had batching days. Mondays are for YouTube, Tuesdays are for short form, Wednesdays I'm editing, Thursday sometimes you have to be that strategic, that minuscule, that detailed with your goals and your habits. That way you can actually obtain the thing that you're ultimately reaching for, the thing that you're trying to grasp hold of, the accomplishment, that goal, that ultimate goal that you're trying to reach. Sometimes it needs to be that structured, and I think a lot of people are scared to be so structured because they're like, well, I have to leave, areas open for opportunity. I can't be this detailed in my day. I can't be. Then you don't want it that bad. Then you don't want it that bad. I know for me, I thrive off of routine, and if I'm off of my routine, everything else falls down. So making sure that you have a good routine, just like you have a morning routine or evening routine, you need to do that for your content as well. What does that look like? Do you need to script? Do you need to batch? How many videos are you doing this week? Don't just get up and try to film and you are not going to be a successful creator if that is your goal, to be a successful creator. If that is your goal, to work with certain brands, you just getting up on the fly and just pressing record. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it works for some people, but for the most part, you do have to have some type of strategy in place in order for you to effectively show up, to avoid burnout, to avoid feeling like, I have no content ideas, to avoid feeling like, you just don't want to show up. Like, allow yourself to have a structured system in place. That way you can show up more effectively. Another thing I think helps for sure, make sure that you're carving out time to be more mindful. Like I mentioned, that's one of my goals this year. Having that time to be extremely mindful, to have stillness, to have that gratitude allows you to, one, look back on and be like, hold on, I'm actually doing the dang thing. It's one thing if you're like constantly go, 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 go. It's hard for you to really sit in and look at all that you've accomplished. It's easy for you to be like, dang, I'm doing all this work and I ain't even hit one goal yet. But when you allow time for those little sweet moments of mindfulness, of stillness, of just not doing whatever, it allows you to appreciate all that you've done. It allows you to sit back and look at all that you've done. And it also allows you to sit down and think about, like, how am I going to move forward? Let me analyze and look at what was working, what wasn't working, instead of just let me film, let me do this. You could be creating all day, but you could be creating blindly. You could be creating blindly. Like, you could just be creating stuff that people ain't even asking for. Take some time, take a step back, and see exactly what it is that you should be doing and how you should be showing it. Mindlessly. Was that the word I was looking for? I think also with prioritizing this, it allows you to make sure that you have time to recharge. I know things like after New York Fashion Week, after Essence Fest, after all those things, I needed time to sit back and recharge. Yes, I came back fueled and excited to want to show up, but also I couldn't just jump right into it. I needed to take some time to recharge. You can't pour from an empty cup. Y'all know the saying, y'all cannot pour from an empty cup. You want to make sure that you are pouring from a cup that is overflowing. So in order for you to really show up the way that you want to show up, you have to be mindful of how you're already performing, and two, be aware of how you want to show up. Another tip is going to be mindful and aware of the relationships that you are building. Be intentional with the relationships that you are nurturing. Be intentional with the people that you are standing next to, and the rooms that you're speaking in, and the rooms that you put yourself in, and the people that are in those rooms. Like, be mindful of all of that stuff. Surround yourself around people that are going to uplift you, that are going to hold you accountable, that are going to inspire you, that are going to motivate you, because there will be times where you are inspired, you are motivated, but motivation isn't enough, okay? You have to be disciplined more than anything. Having those people there adds just a little bit of fuel to that fire to allow you to continue to be disciplined. You know exactly where you're dropping the ball when it comes to you and your goals. Be real with yourself more than anything. Be real with yourself more than anything. That is the only way that you're going to accomplish your goals. Be real with yourself. When you are setting like your goals for, going to the gym. If you know you are not no 5 a.m. girl, do not be trying to go to the gym at 5 a.m. Carve out a time that works for you throughout the day. Allow your goals to, yes, you want to get uncomfortable, because that is how we grow and that is how we reach, the ultimate success and those goals that we are ultimately trying to achieve. But if you are making goals that just are so far out of range because you're not doing anything right now to successfully help you reach those goals, then you're setting yourself up for failure. Create those micro habits that eventually will help you get to the goal that you are trying to reach. If you are trying to be a 5 a.m. girly, okay, I can't be a 5 a.m. girly right now, but I have a goal to be a 5 a.m. girly by March 1st. What am I doing right now that's going to help me be a 5 a.m. girly by March 1st? And that goal, that applies to everything. Okay, I'm not, at 10K right now, but I would like to be at 10K by March 1st. What am I going to be doing right now in order for me to achieve 10K followers by March 1st? I have to show up effectively. What does that look like? Okay, I want to show up effectively. What does that look like? Okay, I want to show up 3 times a week when it comes to posting online. All right, that's cute. How am I going to show up effectively 3 times a week when I know I got this job on the side? Okay, on Tuesdays, I don't gotta be in work until, I don't gotta clock in until 12 o'clock. I might have to get up a little early to batch create 3 videos. Now my videos are set for the week or the week after. Think of those small little micro habits that you might need to make shifts in right now in order for you to accomplish the goals that you want later. I know y'all have heard all of this before, and that's why I'm not about to sit here and play with y'all and list off all these different habits and I know y'all have heard this before, and that's why I'm not about to sit here and play with y'all and list out all these different examples on how you can achieve your goals. You know exactly what it is that you should be doing, okay? Ultimately, the one thing that I kind of stood by, which there's a piece of content here, I'll probably pop it up at the end of this video, but this piece of content, it stuck with me when I made this content. And it is showing up as the person that you desire to be. That is the best piece of advice that I gave myself or that I've ever heard, is showing up as the person that you desire to be. I know it's easier said than done. If you condition and train your brain and your thoughts to think about the person that you want to become, you will start showing up as her. Your habits will change to be more like this person that you desire to become. Your desire, like your hunger, all of those things will start shifting because you desire to be more like this person that you made, this character that you made in your head. Who is you? You are her. She is you. So showing up as her, becoming, thinking, doing all those things like her will ultimately help you get to those goals. I know it is so easy to say that because I too struggled with that. I'm gonna show up as the girl. Let me show up as her every single day. Yeah, some days I want to be the old Nas. And that's okay. Those thoughts, those feelings, all those things are going to try to creep back in, but it's up to you to be disciplined enough to not allow that to pull you back in. It's going to happen. We're human. It's going to happen, but you cannot allow yourself to stay there. You cannot allow yourself to get stuck there. All right, I want to hear from you. I want to know, what are your goals for 2025? You don't got to tell me all of them. Go and tell me one. Go and tell me one goal you got for 2025. Let's inspire each other. Let's motivate each other. Let's hold each other accountable. Okay, I shared mine. Let me hold you accountable too. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, go ahead and leave a comment down below. As always, make sure that you are subscribed, girl. I mean, if you watch this whole video and ain't subscribed, that's suspicious. No, seriously, make sure that you guys are subscribed. Make sure you give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. And go ahead, if there are some videos that you want to see from me in 2025, go ahead and leave them down in the comments below. As always, I appreciate you guys so much for watching my videos and staying locked in, staying tuned in. I cannot wait to spend 2025 with you guys, and I cannot wait to share all of the content that I have planned for this channel with you guys. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I'm wishing you all a prosperous, beautiful, amazing 2025. All right, y'all, let's make it a year to remember. Peace.